Last week on Garden Steps, we talked a little bit about soil testing and the importance of soil testing and why we spend time talking about it. It's really a good diagnostic step to make sure that you know exactly what your soil has and what it doesn't have. Because everybody's a little bit different in terms of that. Even in the same neighborhood, can be some pretty distinct differences, the pros and cons of a particular soil. Okay, so we've got our soil test report back and we're reading it over and we know what we're interested in terms of pH and nitrogen and phosphorus and potassium and possible salt buildup and things like that. And you want to make sure you know what's in it so that your lawn and your garden can benefit from the soil you have. Which kind of brings us to the concept of amendments. What might be good to add and enhance the soil? Once you know what the soil test shows, what it's lacking, then you know you can go to a full-service garden center, a full-service nursery, and really get the type of materials that are going to enhance your garden. Now, one of the first things that will be pointed out by the soil test report will be the pH, which is really just the relative alkalinity or acidity of the garden soil. Now, if we lived on the East Coast, most of those soils would be acid, and a few of those are acid here in Nebraska. Most of them, however, are alkaline. And so you can adjust that through soil amendments. Either way, whether it's alkaline or whether it's acid. If it's an acid soil, then you want to be using some limestone. If you're going to be dealing with an alkaline soil, like most of us, then you want to be thinking about sulfur or some sort of sulfur and iron mixture in order to really give the soil what it's needed. On the other hand, almost all of the soils in eastern Nebraska and western Nebraska and all across Nebraska are heavy clay soils. And the heavy clay is really hard. All the soil particles smash together. Now, the best answer for this one is compost. Now, when you look at soil test reports, and we look at a lot of them at the Extension office, probably in equal proportions in terms of the numbers of problems, looking at pH is also looking at low organic matter soils, particularly for folks who have new home construction. What happens there is all the good soil is stripped aside and you're ending up with low fertility, low organic matter soil. So, luckily for us, the answer is compost and addition of the compost. Now, what compost does for the gardener is it loosens the soil. Heavy clay soils tend to be all smashed together. The particles are all smashed together. And compost tends to separate them, loosen them, allows the roots to grow out long and wide, and really enhances the growth of the garden. Now, if you don't want to go to the garden store and buy bags of compost, you can always make your own. That's the good thing about compost.